All right, welcome back to our deep dive into vibe coding. Today, we're plugging in and turning up the volume for Chapter 7. This is where things get really interesting, because we're going to learn how to stop just ordering our AI around and actually start a creative jam session with it. So, let me ask you something that really gets to the core of this whole chapter. Your AI spits out its first answer. What do? Is that it? The end? For a lot of people it is. But with vibe coding, that first response, that's not the end goal. Nope. It's just the opening chord of your jam session. And you know what? That opening chord, it often has a little problem. The AI's first draft might technically work, sure, but it's usually pretty brittle. What I mean is, it works great when everything's perfect, but the second you throw it a curveball, it just shatters. The author, David, ran into this exact same thing with a data parsing module he was working on. The first version got the job done, yeah, but it was super fragile. Okay, so when that first piece of code inevitably breaks, you've got a choice to make. Are you going to be a compiler, just spit out a dry technical error report, something like function crashes on malformed rows? Or are you going to be a collaborator, someone who describes the vibe, the feeling you're going for? Like, hey, this thing needs to be resilient, like a sturdy old oak tree that can handle whatever the wind throws at it. And believe me, the results you get from these two approaches are night and day. That compiler-style feedback, it gets you a quick patch, a band-aid. The code stops crashing, sure, but now it just pretends the bad data doesn't exist, which is a whole other problem. But that collaborator feedback, that inspires the AI to rethink the whole thing, to re-architect it from the ground up for real resilience. We're talking proper logging, clear error reports, the whole shebang. So, what this all boils down to is a really crucial mindset shift. You gotta stop looking at the AI's first try as the final product. It's not. Think of it as the opening riff in your jam session. It's just an idea, something for you to respond to build on, and to shape into something awesome together. And in this whole jam session, it's got a really simple but super powerful rhythm. It's like a call and response. It goes like this. You kick things off with a clear request. The AI comes back with its riff. Then it's your turn again, but this time you give that human-centric, vibe-based feedback. And then the AI takes that and refines the code. See? It's this back and forth loop. And that's the beat that drives this whole creative engine.
And that whole oak tree thing we talked about, that is the perfect example of what we mean by human-centric feedback. I mean, oak tree isn't a programming term, right? But it's such a powerful metaphor. It instantly brings to mind all these qualities: strength, endurance, even how to fail gracefully. It gives the AI a much richer target to aim for than just a boring old bug report.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it, right? Well, let's pop open the hood and look at the actual toolkit. We're going to go over some practical techniques for giving the kind of creative feedback that gets these incredible results.
So first things first, let's talk about what not to do. There's a really common trap people fall into, especially when they're brainstorming. It's the no, but approach. As soon as you say no, you kind of kill the vibe, right? It just shuts down the creative flow. And that but that follows, it doesn't feel like you're building on the idea. It feels like you're just correcting it. It puts the AI in a defensive mode.
Now, the much better way to do this actually comes from improv comedy. It's the yes and principle. It's super simple. You start with yes. You find something in the AI's idea to agree with, to acknowledge. Then you follow up with and that's where you add your idea. You build on top of it. It completely changes the dynamic, keeps the energy positive, and makes the whole thing feel like you're creating something together. Okay, choosing the right analogies, this is kind of an art form. The trick is to pick metaphors that really call up specific, useful qualities. For example, if you say you want something like a flowing stream, that's not just some vague, poetic thing. It suggests you want something that's smooth, efficient, and can adapt to changes. Or if you say medieval fortress, boom, the AI instantly gets concepts like layered security, strong defenses, and controlled access. Here's another great tool for your toolkit, the guiding question. See, instead of just giving the AI a list of commands, you ask it a question. A question that makes it think from a new angle, like a user's perspective. It's a really simple shift, but it's huge. It transforms the AI from just a tool that follows orders into a genuine partner in problem solving.
Now, I want to be clear about something. This doesn't mean we just throw all technical feedback out the window. Of course not. If the AI messes up the syntax or gets a core concept wrong, you absolutely have to correct it. The key, though, is how you do it. It's all in the framing.
You can make even a technical correction feel collaborative. Look at the structure here. You start by validating the AI's intention. Ah, I see what you're going for here. Then, you gently point out the problem. There's just a little syntax issue.
And you finish on a positive note. With that small tweak, I think this whole approach is going to work great. See? You fixed the error, but you kept the jam session going. You didn't kill the vibe.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? What's the bottom line? It's that when you start using this collaborative, human-centric style, you fundamentally change your entire relationship with your AI. You stop being a commander who just barks orders, and you become more like a director or a bandmate, a true creative partner.
And I love how David puts it in the book. He says your feedback isn't a weapon you use to criticize. It's the rudder of a ship. It's the tool you use to gently guide the collaboration, to navigate all the different currents of what the AI can do and steer it smoothly right to where you want to go. Ultimately, what this whole approach does is unlock a totally new level of creativity. You end up with results that are not only more robust, but they're way more aligned with your actual vision. It really does turn you from someone just giving orders into a true co-creator. So the question isn't really if you're going to jam with an AI, it's what kind of incredible symphony are you going to create together?